everybody's doing well today, staying healthy. If you're just joining in, please just get into a comfortable seated position. I would like to thank everybody who's letting us know that they're doing the classes and they're joining in. And just get comfortable. If you have a strap or a belt or even a hand towel, you'll need that today for one of the poses. So if you could get one of those, and also for balance poses, if you want to get a chair to hold on to, if you don't have a wall close by, you could do that. But just get comfortable and we'll be getting started in a couple minutes. And I wanted to let everybody know that Thursday we started a two-part series of opening up the chakras. We did the first three on this past Thursday, and next Thursday we'll be finishing up with the last four. And if you weren't real sure about what the chakras are, they're energy which runs along the spine. They're wheels of energy which run along the spine, and there's 7 chakras, and they start from the root chakra and they go all the way up to the crown of your head. So what we were doing is explaining each chakra and then breaking it down and letting you know different signs of if there's an imbalance in the body. It could be that one of your chakras are out of alignment. Today we'll be working on opening the heart chakra, which is for love and emotion, and sometimes when that gets blocked, you're either unable to love or receive love, or also it's an emotion where you're unable to forgive. So we'll be doing a few poses which will be opening up the heart. So just get into a comfortable position. Begin to relax your body. You can rest your hands on your lap and just close your eyes and begin to focus on your breath. Breathing in and out through your nose, letting go of any thoughts that come to your mind. And just begin to relax your shoulders, relax your back, relax your arms, your hands, your fingers. Relax your legs all the way down to your feet. Lengthening your spine and trying to release any tension that you're feeling in your body. So do a scan of your body, starting at the crown of your head, working through your neck and shoulders, your back. And if you're feeling an area with tension, try to direct your breath into that area to release the tension. So you're inhaling relaxation and exhaling tension. And when you find where that tension is, take a deep inhale in through your nose and exhale out through your mouth. Inhale in through your nose and gently exhale out through your mouth. Feeling those muscles begin to relax. relaxation, and exhaling tension. Now, if you're not comfortable with your crossed, you can always have your legs out in front of you, or you can place a blanket also under your under your bottom to lift your hips up. And however you feel comfortable, just get into that position and we'll get started. Have your palms resting on your hands. Palms can be facing down or facing up. And clear your mind of any thoughts. And just through practice, remember, this is your practice, so do what feels right for your body today. Inhaling through your nose, exhaling through your nose. Now on your next inhale, just bring your chin to your chest. Feeling the stretch up the back of your neck, your spine. Take a few deep breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. And then on your next inhale, bring your head up to center. And exhale, bringing your nose pointing towards the sky. If it's too much on the back of your neck, you can just bring your chin to your chest. You have a slight arch in your back. Shoulder blades are back and down. Taking your gaze up towards the sky. Opening up your throat. Opening up your heart. Inhale back up to center. And on the exhale, just bring your left ear towards your left shoulder. Feeling the stretch in the right side of the neck. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale back up to center. And exhale, right ear, right shoulder. Keeping a flat back, shoulder blades back and down. Releasing the tension in that neck. And inhale back up to center. And exhale, release. Slowly open your eyes. Bring your fingertips to the sides. Flip your palms up. Take a deep inhale, reaching your arms up overhead. Elongate the spine, reaching out through your fingertips. And on the exhale, bring your hands to heart center. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, you can do that now. For gratitude, whatever it may be. And then release your hands down by your side. And we're going to inhale and bring our shoulders forward and up. And exhale, bringing your shoulder blades back and down. When you bring them back and down, it's almost like you have a pencil between your shoulder blades, really trying to get them back. Inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. You can do this with your own breath, matching your movement, breath to your movement. When you're ready, you can go in the opposite direction, inhaling back and up, exhaling forward and down. shoulders back to neutral. And take a deep inhale, reach your arms up overhead, elongating the spine. And on the exhale, bring your left hand down to the mat and just reach that right hand over that right ear, reaching towards the left. Feeling the stretch in that right hip. You can come down to your forearm to get deeper into the pose. It's your practice, whatever feels right for you. And then inhale back up to center, hands overhead. And exhale, right hand down to the mat. Left arm over that left ear, reaching towards the right. Keeping a flat back. You can move that right hand out a little further. Feeling the stretch in that left hip. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, reach back up to center. And exhale, release. Now we're going to bring our right knee over our left. So your legs are crossed. And then we're going to bring our left hand. Now you can use your towel or your strap or your belt now. We're going to bring our left arm back to reach our right hand behind us. If you can't reach, you can have a towel, a strap, or a belt and use that to connect the hands if they don't reach. So I'll show you in the back. So your left arm is up and your right arm is back and you're connecting like this. If it doesn't reach, just bring that towel behind you and use the towel to open up that shoulder. If it's uncomfortable on your shoulders, you don't have to do the arms, just do the legs, but the right knee is crossed over the left and your left arm is up and your right arm is behind you. You're clasping your hands if you can. If you can't reach, that's fine. Use the towel. Take a few deep breaths here. Trying to relax those shoulders, feeling the stretch. Engaging your core here, lengthening your spine. This is called cow facing pose. And then release your arms, shake out your arms. Now go on to your right foot. Your leg is still crossed. If you can bring your elbow on the side of that, outside of that right knee, that's great. If you can't, just hug it into your chest. Bring your right hand behind that right hip. And inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, twist, looking over that right shoulder. Take a few deep breaths here. You're really lengthening your spine, twisting from your rib cage. Inhaling and exhaling. Then release the twist, come back to center. Now we'll switch legs. So you're going to cross your left leg over the right. And take your right arm and reach back, or use your towel to reach back. And then bring your left arm behind you to clasp your hands. Each side is different. You might be able to reach with one side but not the other. And you're trying to just open up that shoulder. Really try to breathe in and breathe out. Lengthening your spine. Feeling the stretch in the shoulders. For cow facing pose. And then release your arms, shake them out. And then come on into that left foot. Bring your right elbow behind that left knee, or hug that left knee into your chest, whatever's comfortable wherever you're at. And then bring that left hand behind you, and your inhale, lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, twist looking over that left shoulder. You really want to lengthen the spine before you twist, and you're not twisting just from your neck, you're twisting from the rib cage, looking over that left shoulder. Take a few deep breaths here. See with each exhale if you can get deeper into the twist. And then release the twist, come back to center. We're going to extend our legs out into a wide-legged seated position. And then just turn towards your left leg. Your hands are framing that leg. And take a deep inhale and lengthen your spine. You can have a slight bend in your knees if that's more comfortable. And on the exhale, just begin from your low back. Begin to walk your hands forward, keeping a flat back. It doesn't matter how far you go. When you can't go any further, take a deep inhale in, and on the exhale, begin to forward fold. Wherever you're at is fine. Keep breathing into that low back. With each inhale, come up a little bit, and with the exhale, see if you can fold a little bit lower. Getting deeper into the pose. Then inhale, walk your hands back up to center, and exhale. Turn towards your right leg, take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, begin to walk your hands forward, forward fold. Each side is different. Inhaling and exhaling. It doesn't matter how far you go. You don't want it to hurt. And then begin to walk your hands back to center. And then inhale and exhale. Begin to walk your hands forward. Wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, come up a little bit, and exhale. See if you can walk those hands a little bit further. Inhale and exhale. And then walk your hands back up to center. Bring the soles of your feet in to touch. Roll out the arches of your feet and just begin to butterfly your knees out to the sides, getting movement into those hips. Bring your knees to stillness. Take a deep inhale in. Your hands are on your ankles or on your feet. And from your low back, on the exhale, just begin to hinge forward. Your feet can be out a little bit if it's too much on your knees. And you're not going all the way down. You're just really trying to reach out through the crown of your head. You're reaching out. It doesn't matter how far you go. You're almost parallel to the floor. You're lengthening your spine, and you're feeling the stretch in the inner thighs. Take a few deep breaths here. Then come back up to center. Bring your knees in. And we're going to go into tabletop. So if you need a blanket under your knees, you can do that now. So your shoulders are over your wrists, your hips are over your knees, and your tops of your feet are flat on the mat. On the inhale, we're going to do a few rounds of cat-cow. So on the inhale, we're going to drop our belly and take our gaze up. And then on the exhale, tuck your chin and round your spine. Inhale, drop your belly, take your gaze up. Exhale for cat. Really round your spine. Do this with your own breath, inhaling and exhaling. And on cat, when you tuck your chin and round your spine, you're really trying to create space between you and your mat. This will help with other poses in yoga. It really loosens the spine, and it enables you to move more freely. Inhaling and exhaling. You're loosening up the spine, getting that fluid moving. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. And inhale, extend that right foot back, going onto the ball of your foot. And just gently rock back and forth, loosening up that right calf. And then come to stillness and bring that right hand directly under your face. And extend that left arm up to the sky. You're still pushing on the ball of that right foot. You're creating a straight line from the right hand to the left hand fingertips. You're feeling the stretch in that right calf, reaching up, opening up the heart. Take a few deep breaths here, engage your core. Then bring your hand back down to the mat, your knee back down. Roll out that right wrist. And then when you're ready, extend that left foot back, going onto the ball of your foot, and rock back and forth. Loosening up the calf, the toes are spread, getting movement all the way to your toes. Then come to stillness. Bring that left hand under your face, and then extend your right arm up to the sky, feeling the stretch in that right hip. Reaching up a straight line from your right fingertips to your left. Engaging your core, working on balance. Then bring your hand back down to the mat, your knee back down. Roll out that left wrist. We're going to go into child's pose. So your big toes are overlapping. Your knees are a little wider than hip distance apart. Just bring your torso between your knees and lower your forehead to the mat. Your hands are out in front of you. This is a resting pose. So anytime a pose doesn't feel right or you want to take a break, you can always come into child's pose. If it's uncomfortable with your arms out in front of you, you can bring your arms behind you. Take a few deep breaths here. Then we'll come back into tabletop. And we're going to go into thread the needle. So make sure your shoulders are in alignment over your wrists and your hips are over your knees. And for thread the needle, your hips are going to stay up, but you're just going to lower your shoulder and your ear down to the mat. So take a deep inhale and raise that right arm high to the sky. And then on the exhale, thread that right arm behind your left, bringing your right shoulder and right ear down to the mat. Your left arm you can have on your forearm. And you're just feeling the twist in this pose. If you want to add on, you can place that left hand on your low back. That's opening up your heart, opening up that left shoulder. Take a few deep breaths here. Then bring your left hand back down to the mat. Press into that left hand. And on the inhale, raise that right arm back up to the sky and place it back down to the mat. Inhale, raise your left arm up to the sky. And on the exhale, thread it behind your right arm, bringing that left shoulder and left ear down to the mat. You can stay on your forearm with your right arm, or you can place that right hand on your low back, opening up that right shoulder. If you have bad shoulders, I wouldn't do that. Just leave it on the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. Your hips are high. Then bring your right hand down to the mat. Press into the palm of that right hand. Lift up. Inhaling your left arm up to the sky and placing it back down to the mat. We're going to go into our first downward facing dog. So flip your toes and just lift your knees, hovering your knees over the mat for a minute. You're engaging your thighs here, hovering over the mat. Then slowly shift your hips back towards your ankles and begin to straighten your legs. And just gently pedal out your feet for the first downward facing dog. Your weight is shifted back onto your legs. Your head is between your arms. You're in like a V position. You can go up on your toes and then bring your heels down. If your heels don't touch the mat, that's fine. That's okay. Eventually you'll get there. It's just loosening up those muscles. You can have a slight bending your knees. And then inhale, look up between your hands. And on the exhale, begin to walk your feet forward to your hands for forward fold. This is the first forward fold of the day. So you can have a slight bend in your knees and your low back. You're trying to release the tension in that low back. Hold opposite elbow to opposite hand. You can sway from side to side. Taking a few deep breaths here. And then release your hands and inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands hands, heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. We'll take a few deep breaths in Tadasana in mountain pose. So your feet are hip distance apart, palms are facing forward, shoulder blades back and down. And just take a few deep breaths here. This is also a resting pose. If at any time you just want to focus on your breath, you can always come into mountain pose, into Tadasana. If you'd like to get a drink of water, you can do that now. And just begin to clear your mind and focus on your breath. And come to the front of your mat. And we're going to take a deep inhale and reach your arms up overhead. Put a slight arch to your back. And then turn your palms out, and from your low back, reaching out through the crown of your head, we're going to exhale and forward fold. Take a few deep breaths here. And inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach up, slight back bend. Turn your palms out. Exhale, forward fold. Now we're going to inhale to a half lift, a flat back. Whatever gives you that flat back, from your low back to the crown of your head, your hands either on your calves or on your thighs, whatever's more comfortable to give you that flat back. You're really lengthening your spine here. Take a few deep breaths. Take a deep inhale and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands, heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Now we're going to go into sun salutations. So just listen to your body. If you need to stop, that's fine. Wherever you're at is fine. So take a deep inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Engage your core, make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. You're pushing through your heels, engaging your core. You can come to your knees for half plank, that's fine. Whatever feels right for you, just listen to your body. And now with control, wherever you're at, you're going to keep your elbows close to your side and bring your chin and chest down between your hands. Point your toes, engage your legs. Press your palms into the mat and come up for cobra. Be careful not to pinch your low back. Exhale down, back down to the mat. Flip your toes, and you can either go directly into downward facing dog or go to tabletop first and then downward facing dog. You might have to walk your feet in a little bit. Take a few deep breaths here. And then go up on your toes. And inhale, look up between your hands. And on the exhale, just begin to walk your toes up on your toes towards your hands for forward fold. Inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. This time, keep your feet together. And we're going to inhale, reach up. And then on the exhale, we're going to sit back into chair. So keep your tailbone tucked under. You're engaging your thighs here. You're reaching out. Make sure your knees don't go past your toes. Your arms are at a 45-degree angle. You're engaging your thighs here. Then bring your hands to heart center and just gently twist to the right. Make sure one knee doesn't go out in front of the other, that they're level, that they're even. And just gently twist to the right. Then come back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Take a few deep breaths here. Then inhale, half lift. Exhale, plank. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Engage your core. You can come to your knees for half plank. You're still strengthening your arms, engaging your core. You want your hips to be level. You don't want to be up in the air like this. Then with control, elbows by your side, slowly bring your chin and chest down to the mat. Flip your toes, point through your toes, press up for cobra. Engaging your legs. Keep your tailbone tucked under. Exhale back down to the mat. Flip your toes, push back to downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale, look up between your hands. Exhale, walk or step forward, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. Feet together. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, sit back into chair. Reaching up through your fingertips, checking your knees, engaging your core, really reaching out. Your body, your arms are reaching out. Bring your hands to heart center and gently twist to the left. Taking a few deep breaths here, engaging those thighs. Come back to center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, plank. Plant your hands, step back to plank, engage your core. Take a few deep breaths here. Slowly, with control. You don't want your pelvis to drop. You'll hurt your low back. You want to be strong, and with control, come down to the mat and lift up for cobra. Exhale back down to the mat. Flip your toes. Push back to downward facing dog. Take a few deep breaths here. Look up between your hands and walk or step forward, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, hands overhead. Exhale, hands heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, release. We'll take a few deep breaths in Tadasana in mountain pose. And just focus back onto your breath. place our hands on our hips. And you're just going to step back onto the ball of that left foot. Put a bend in that front knee. And if you need to have a chair for balance or a wall, you can go to the wall and hold on to it. You can make your stands bigger by bringing out that back leg for balance if you're having a hard time with the balance. You're pushing through the ball of that back foot. And then when you're ready, bring your arms to goalpost. Shoulder blades are back and down. And take your gaze slightly up. You're lifting your chest up, lifting your heart up, opening up that heart. Take a few deep breaths here, and when you're ready, raise your arms up to the sky for high lunge. Engaging your core. You can have a slight back bend if you'd like. And then bring your hands to heart center and just gently twist to the right. Really working that right thigh, pushing through that back foot. Come back to center and step forward to Tadasana. Take a few deep breaths here. And then bring your hands to your hips. Step that right foot back. Whatever's easier to balance. If you have a chair, it'll be on your left side. You don't have to add the arms if it's too much. You can just work on your legs. When you find balance, bring your arms to goalpost. Shoulder blades back and down. Strong fingertips, strong hands. And then when you're ready, bring your arms up for high lunge. Take a few deep breaths here. Then bring your hands to heart center and gently twist to your left. Still pressing through the ball of that back foot. Feeling the stretch in that right hip. Engaging your thighs. You'll feel it in the left thigh also. Take a few deep breaths. Come back to center and step forward to Tadasana. Take a few deep breaths here. Now we're going to go into a balancing pose, eagle pose. So you want to have your chair close by. You can have your chair, if it's on the left, keep it there now. Make sure that you're grounding through all four corners of each foot and your weight is evenly distributed. You want to have a focal point out in front of you for balance. So you'll have a stationary point out in front of you that you'll focus on. We're just going to gently shift our weight into that right leg. And then we're going to bring our left leg over the right. And just put a slight bend in your knees. Your toes are touching the mat. Now you can stay here and practice on just lifting that foot, lifting those toes for eagle pose, or wrapping your toes around that back calf, right calf. You can touch down and lift up, practicing balance. If you want to add arms, extend your arms out in front of you. Bring your left arm over the right and bend at your elbows. Bring the back of your hands to meet. You can stay here and just work on bringing them up and down. You'll feel it in your scapula and your shoulder blades. If it's too much on your shoulders, don't add your arms. If you find that easy to touch the backs of your hands, you can try increasing it by touching your palms together. Working on your balance, bringing your arms up and down. You'll feel more as you go up, less as you bring them down. Wherever you're at is fine. Take a few deep breaths here. If you fall out of it, you can just come right back into it. And each day is different for balance. Each side is different. And then when you're ready to come out, release your foot back down to the mat and release your arms. Shake out your feet. Then feet hip distance apart. Make sure your weight's evenly distributed. Find your focal point. Shift your weight into that left leg. And bring your right leg over the left, bending slightly at the knees, placing your toes on the mat. You can lift them, place them down, whatever's more comfortable. If you want to add your arms, extend your arms out parallel with the floor. Then bring your left arm over the right. And then bring the backs of the bend at the elbows and bring the back of the hands together. If you want to increase it, you can bring your palms together. Bringing your arms up and down, feeling it in the shoulders. Wrapping that leg around the standing leg or keeping your toes on the mat wherever you're at is fine. You're engaging the core. You're working all the way from your feet all the way to the crown of your head. Working on balance. If you fall out of it, just come back into it and remember to breathe. Then release your arms, release your hands, shake it out. Take a few deep breaths here. We're going to extend our feet out, our stands out a little wider than hip distance apart. Really ground through the feet. Straight back, shoulder blades back and down. You're engaging your legs here, lifting your kneecaps up. And when you're ready, extend your arms out to the sides. Level with your shoulders. And reaching out through your fingertips. You're engaging your arms almost like you're holding weights up. And then reach through the crown of your head for a 5-point star. Take a few deep breaths here. Pulling those kneecaps up, engaging your legs, grounding down through your feet. Engaging your arms, your fingertips, reaching out through the crown of your head. Inhaling and exhaling. Now when you're ready, turn your toes towards the corners of the mat and bend your elbows so your palms are facing forward, keeping a straight, flat back, tailbone tucked under. Just gently begin to bend your knees into goddess pose. Doesn't matter how low you're gone. You're feeling it in the thighs. Make sure your knees are following the direction of your toes, not to hurt your knees. Shoulder blades are back and down. Opening the heart. Take a few deep breaths here. Then inhale, reach up, arms overhead, straighten the legs. Take a few deep breaths. Then exhale back down into goddess pose. Strong goddess pose. Shoulder blades, make sure they're back. You can take your gaze slightly up if you'd like. Then inhale back up, arms overhead, straightening the legs. Take a few deep breaths here. Then exhale back into goddess pose. Last one. Make it strong. Hold it. Engage those thighs. See if you can get a little bit deeper into the pose. And then inhale back up. And exhale, release your arms back down to your sides. Walk your feet back in, and we'll take a few deep breaths in Tadasana in mountain pose. To come to the front of the mat and inhale, reach up, arching your back. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Really reach out through the crown of your head. And exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank, engage your core. Last plank, you can come to your knees and just slowly lower down to the mat. Stack your forearms in front of you. Place your forehead on your forearms. Your toes are pointing out to the corners of the mat. And just take a few deep breaths in crocodile pose. This is also a resting pose. So just take a few deep breaths. Focus on your breath. We're going to bring our arms behind us. Your palms are facing down. If it's uncomfortable, you can have them facing up. Your forehead is on the mat. And now you're on the tops of your feet. Your toes are pointing back. We're going to take a deep inhale and just begin to lift your head and shoulders off the mat. And lift your arms. They're reaching out behind you. You're pressing your hip bones, your pelvis into the mat. You're engaging your legs and pointing out through your toes, but you're not lifting your lower body. And exhale, come back down to the mat. Inhale, lift just your shoulders, your head, your arms. Engaging your legs, pointing out through your toes. And exhale, release. And one more. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Now we're going to leave our upper body on the mat. And on the inhale, we're just going to lift our legs and our feet and point through our toes. So we'll do a cleansing breath, inhale and exhale. And inhale, lift, engaging your legs, pressing those hips into the mat, pelvis into the mat. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. And one more, inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Now we're going to do both at the same time. If you just want to do your upper body first, do your upper body or just do your lower body, you can do that, or lift both at the same time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Engaging your core, tucking your tailbone, pressing your hips into the mat. Exhale, release. One more, inhale, lift. And exhale, release. We're going to push back into child's pose. Take a few deep breaths there. Now we're going to come into seated position, into staff pose. You can have a slight bend in your knees and just take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, just begin to walk your hands forward, forward fold. See if this forward fold feels a little different than the first one in the beginning of practice. Take a deep inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Slowly walk your hands back up to center. And we're going to come to our knees. You can place a blanket under your knees if you'd like. And we're just going to place our hands on our low back. Press your hips forward and just take your gaze up. This is half camel pose. Take a few deep breaths here. And if you'd like to move into camel, you can place your hands on your ankles. If this is uncomfortable, it's a really advanced pose, so you might not want to go to full camel. But your neck is back. Be careful of your neck. And your hands are on your ankles. Or you can do the same for half camel. Be careful of your neck. If it's too much, take your gaze forward. And then just come down to the mat. Hug your knees into the mat. Rock from side to side. Extend your arms out to the side and slowly roll onto that left hip, taking your gaze over your right fingertips. Inhale back up to to center. Roll onto your right hip, looking over your left fingertips, keeping your shoulder blades on the mat. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale back up to center and extend your legs up to the sky for legs up the wall. Point and flex your feet. Get the blood and oxygen back to your brain. Inhale your knees back into your chest. And we'll get ready for Shavasana. So your feet can be out flat on the mat. Your legs flat on the mat. Your feet can fall out to the corners of the mat. Your arms are slightly away from your body, palms facing up. If this is uncomfortable for your shoulders, you can have your palms facing down. Tuck your shoulder blades under and just begin to focus on your breath. If it's too much on your back, you can also roll a blanket up and put it under your knees. And just gently close your eyes. And just begin to focus on your breath. Breathing in and out. Relaxing your forehead. Relax your eyes. Remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your shoulders, your upper arms, your forearms, all the way to the tips of your fingers. Relax your chest, your abdomen, your hips. Relax the front of your thighs, your knees, your shins. Relax your ankles, the tops of your feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. Relax the soles of your feet, your calves, the backs of your thighs. Relax your low back, mid back, and upper back. Relax the back of your shoulders, the back of your neck, all the way to the crown of your head. Continue your breath past the crown of your head, all the way past the tips of your toes. A continuous flow of air. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, putting movement back in your body. Move your head from side to side. When you're ready, roll on to your favorite side. seated position, hands at heart center, thumbs at your sternum. Yoga is a journey. And thank you for sharing your mat with me today through your journey. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you everybody for sharing the class with me today. If you could continue letting us know that you're watching the videos, that would be great. And also, like I said, next Thursday we'll be covering the last 4 chakras. If you want to join in, it's at 9 o'clock on Thursday. Have a great day.